Okay, welcome back. In this video about the power pod for the swappable aircrafts from Flite Test, and we're working on the FT Flyer aircraft. We're going to test all the electronics at once. One, to make sure everything's working, you don't have any out-of-box failures and all that kind of stuff. And two, you want to make sure the motor is turning in the right direction. So we'll test that as well. And so it's just to make sure that everything's working before you go putting it all together. So here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the ESC here, and it's got 3 wires with colored wires. The 3 wires on the motor are all black, and we got some percentage chance, I'm not sure what the percentage is, of getting this right. But if it's not right and it's turning in the wrong direction, guess what? We'll switch any 2 of the wires and it should be fine after that. So we're going to plug the 3 wires in any order, doesn't matter. And so now the 3 wires from the ESC are plugged into the 3 wires from the motor. Okay, next we're going to take the ESC and plug that into the throttle channel of the receiver. The receiver was bound in the last video. So that goes in the throttle channel. And I've got the 2 servos here, the Tower Pro SG92Rs servos. I'm going to plug one into the aileron channel. Even though we have a rudder, we don't have ailerons, we're going to use the aileron channel. And I'll show you later how we mix the aileron and rudder channel so that you can use the rudder or the aileron or both to move the rudder. And in the next slot, we'll plug in the elevator. And so we've got an elevator there, an aileron there, and the motor is connected. Before we plug in the battery, we'll turn on the radio. I have throttle cut. I always have a throttle cut with a warning, and I'll show you how to do that in the programming video. To make sure that the throttle is cut and it won't move when I plug it in. The motor doesn't have a prop on it anyway. You should always do this kind of testing without a prop on. And so now that that's on, we can plug this in and see what happens. Okay. Little beep was the ESC going beep. Yeah, I found it. This is glowing correctly. The first thing I'm going to do is test the aileron servo. Okay, that's moving. And because I know this has already been programmed, the rudder should also move it, and it does. The elevator should move. You can't see it moving, but I can feel it and see it moving, so it's fine. And last but not least, we're going to test the throttle here. Before I do that, I'm going to take some blue painter's tape, a small piece of blue painter's tape, and just put a piece of tape over the prop. Okay, or where the prop would go, as a little flag to see if it goes, which way it's turning. So I'm going to turn the throttle cut off and move the throttle. Okay, so when you move it nice and slow like that, you can see it's turning clockwise as viewed from inside the cockpit. So clockwise as viewed from inside the cockpit is the correct direction. If you're viewing it from the other side, it'd be counterclockwise, but I like to view it from inside the cockpit. And so that's the correct direction. Don't need to swap any wires. If you did have to swap any wires, swap any 2 colors. And it will go in the other direction. So, let's see. Oh yeah, I want to test one other thing here. Okay, you can see that the motor has a brake on it. Okay, doesn't coast to a stop, so the brake is on. So in the next video, I'll show you how to turn that brake off. And I like the brake off. I'll explain in the next video. So, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.